Hey. Welcome to Thursday night live stream. Appreciate you all coming here. I'm sitting here messing around with some 9mm stuff tonight. We're going to talk some 9mm. We got Echo with us here in the side. We got everybody in the side chat. Appreciate you dropping by. Good to see you. Good talking with you all after a long week. At least it seems long to me. Let me go ahead and call them out right quick. What view's here? Reloader 762 was here at 3:01 p.m. today. That's he may
He
not be
was
here
here early.
now.
Yeah, I was here right after him. I was like, my goodness, you're here early.
Mm-hmm. Gun loving grandpa, good to see you. Kingpin, always good to see you. Andy, good to see you. The robe.
The robe.
Uh, yeah, I remember that when he did that. Got D. I never DSCZ52. Do you know them, Echo? Welcome though. Good to see you. I don't recall seeing them before. I may have, but good to see you though. Who else? That's it. Critter's here. I sent Critter a link. Info Brothers, he's here. Good to see you, Info Brothers. Critter's he reloads and he's in that forum with High Boy. So it's good to see you. Glad you dropped by. And you can, if you want to drop in the stream, I'll send you a link. Just let me know, Critter. Uh, or I may throw the link out there in a little while. So what's going on, Echo? What are you up to this week?
Oh man, I have had like a few doctor's appointments, so it's kind of put a cramp on my plans to go down to the range. I'm waiting kind of for getting my last vaccination shot before I go to the range because I've got some health issues that are underlying, so I have to get the vaccination. I don't have a chance. I don't have a choice. It's like if I get it, I'm gonna bite the big one. So, but anyways, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to the range because I want to do some testing of some ammunition that I loaded, and I've got some 5.5 or some 223. I've got some 300 black and some 380 auto.
Cool. How long has it been since you've been to the range?
Um, Coming up on a year and 6 months and like 34 days.
Wow, you're like me. We're gonna forget how to shoot.
Yeah, I'm gonna get there and not know what to do. I'll be like, hey, can you help this old man learn how to? I can't put the bullets. I can't get the bullets in the rifle.
Uh-huh. So you've been loading it all this week, or just taking it easy?
No, I've been kind of just taking it easy because I didn't want to start something and have to stop and kind of not finish. And so basically, I'm just waiting. I'm gonna be loading some 380 and 50 rounds of 380, and then I'm gonna shoot it over a chrono and compare it to the 50 rounds that I loaded from the brand new jug of 231. I accidentally left the cap off of the jug of 231 overnight for about 6 hours. And I want to see if there's a velocity difference because obviously dry powder is going to pull moisture out of the air. And on the Reloaders podcast the other night, they were talking about that. So we're going to do a little test and see how it affects the overall velocity.
Oh, that's right. I heard you talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Michael Hurtnick. Good to see you. Curtis Long's here with us. Uncle Jim jumped in.
Uncle Jim.
Good to see you.
Curtis. Michael. What's everybody doing out there?
Hang on a second. Any of you all want to come in here? I think I sent, how many links did I send? I sent MacMan a link, a few others. But I can't remember the other.
Did you see Jim a link?
No, I only sent a few. MacMan, can't remember now. We'll put the link in the side.
I'm getting old. Here. I can't remember yesterday.
There's Reloader 762. Good to see you. he's like Andy. He's been reloading for years. I got let me pull him off of this. Well, here we go. Been a while since I did it because usually I don't mess with the front side of this because on Echoes when he's streaming, I have no access to it. So now I do. I got to remember to go and do it, and I'm not used to doing this at the same time. I got a set of 9mm Lee dies, deluxe set, 4-die set this week. So I'm going to show that. Not much to show. It's just a die set. I have it on the press. I have the carbide sizer, the steel sizer, and I'll tell you why I do the steel sizer in a minute. And I have the 2-step tin-coated Redding flare die, and I have the Redding cedar, and I have the Lee factory crimp die for 9mm. And so far, it's working good. I like it. It's my first. I've used it for 223, but never for a 9mm. It actually supposedly does the wrinkles with a carbide ring and then crimps it at the same time. So that's kind of cool. Hang on, guys. Let me put the link in the side. Here you go. And if somebody comes on we don't want, we'll boot you out. There's a link. I'll come in, chat a little bit. What else I've been doing? I have been doing some 223, and I got Unique out here for the.
Ooh, my favorite.
Got 2 pounds of that years ago. Actually, this is 2014. I may have got the newer bottle, but who cares? So I need to mark that with something so I'll know which one to go back to. I'm doing. For my 9, I'm doing XTP, 115 grain hollow points. Got them, I think, $23 and something from Midway, 100. And I'm gonna buy a new brass, and I am gonna carry these for self-defense. I don't care what lawyers say. So, but there's the link, everyone. If you want to jump on, you all are welcome. Uncle Jim, if you want to come on a minute. Critter, if you want to jump in there, you got the link. Hey, Vanessa, good to see you. Let me
Howdy, Vanessa, Andy.
Hang on, guys, and I'll highlight you. There's the link. Vanessa says hi. There we go, Michael. There. Nothing really to highlight yet much. Let's see. Got any questions? Feel free to ask us. Of course, you may know more than we do. There's 762. Let's see. There you go.
Yeah, 762. I'm gonna be slugging my barrel soon for to see the diameter so that I can order the right size bullet.
That's weird. Oh, okay. It only you notice how that highlight only shows a little bit when you're zoomed in. Now watch. Well, it still does. Okay.
They change. It used to be big and go all the way. There's got to be.
They did a software update. Absolutely. And go figure. I like the broad one, the one that runs the length of the
I think mine is bigger.
Let's see.
Let
me see if it's what I think. Nope. Apparently they did a software update in the cloud because this is not on our computer. So.
Yeah. The now I've got the basic StreamYard, and it does put a white background on it. Or a gray or whatever color it does. I guess it's white with like blue writing instead of gray writing.
Okay. I don't know what that looks like. See, Critter says, I'm going to have to splurge money on some fancy horny bullets once. They seem pretty good bullets. They're nice. You know, being 9mm, they're, I think, about $3 to $5 cheaper per 100, too.
Yeah,
Hornady. Months ago.
Hornady has good prices on bullets.
There you are. Sorry.
Yeah, Hornady's got good prices on bullets. I always buy their 223, and get them in the 500 round bulk packs for around. Well, I used to get them for like $38. Now I think they're like around 48. But still, for 500 bullets, that's like $10 per 100 for 223 55 grain.
Mm-hmm.
And all my twist rate barrels are 1 in 9 or high, or even slower, so it doesn't matter. 55s are heavy enough for it.
Mm-hmm. There, Andy's got his got his rifle going again. Did they have to do anything specific, Andy, or you want to come over here and tell us about it, or just tell us in the chat? I'd like to hear about it, what they did. Hey, Walter's here. Good to see you, Walter.
Howdy, Walter. What is it? Viego? Is that what he goes by when he's on streams?
Diego something, I think.
Yeah,
Must be a Mafia Don.
Yeah, I get a kick out of it when I see that, and he says it. I'm just like,
okay. So did the boat just fit right in there, Andy? If it did, that's good, because that means that boat was built just right. Let's see. Nothing sent a complete new boat, slid right in there. Yeah, that's great. I know you've been wanting to fix it for quite a while. Local shop sells 900 XE for 19. Oh, that's a good buy. Yeah, I paid 23, I think, 99. But that's during the shortage though too. So it dropped down, and the dies were the lead dies I got here. Where get the word out? They were $59.99. I would not pay that, so I got them on $53.99. Still not probably as cheap as pre-COVID. You got to remember, these prices may not come down that much because of raw material problem in the world. Everything's in a shortage. So let me move my ugly mug. Instead of moving, I put myself back up there. Uncle Jim, what's he saying? Hey, somebody come on in here and get a link. Let's go. Let Walter come here and tell us how you pronounce that. Somebody.
So what are you doing, brother? Are you talking about Hornady bullets?
No, I just wanted to mention it. I just got 200 of them. 115.
Yeah, I got some too. I went in and got a little crazy, so all in good fun, though. AR.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are number 36540. But I like them, so I'm gonna get more of them. And I'm gonna eventually get me a gun for 40 caliber, and I'm gonna load 40. Oh, let me get back to the die. Let me get to my story on that. All right. We know the 9mm is tapered case, right? Okay. The carbide sizing die cannot taper around. You can only slide over the carbide so much over the brass and size it. So why I use the steel? Because it is like that. The steel can be cut, tilted in slightly, and it helps round off the neck. So I'm doing about 0.370, 371 average on my neck. So I size it in the carbide lathe, and I go to the Redding steel die. I don't know what I'd have to get the, hang on a second, I'll give you the number. The number on the Redding steel die is 80172. 9mm Lugers. It's a steel die set, no carbide in it, guys. So
I understand why you're doing it, but that's a lot of work.
Yep. But I don't have to worry about it. It's just, to me, I like it better. It's just, to me, several of us do that. I think Highboy does this, and that's like I got it from Highboy. You know, because
that's how you learn the technique.
Yeah, years ago. him talking about it. I remembered it in my head, so I just did it. Yeah, all you do basically size it with the carbide and size it with the steel, and it chambers every time. Plus, then I got the Lee factory crimp. It'll definitely chamber, but I don't think I really need the factory crimp. I probably could do taper, but hey, I'll use it anyway. It's no big deal to me. It
The
works. It
factory
works.
the factory crimp is putting a taper on it because it's just smushing it around the
Yeah,
edge. It's not rolling it.
right. Yeah, it does taper it there. Granted, it takes the bell out, but still, I like the steel die. It sizes it down to a better spec than a carbide does. I mean, there's no way the carbide can touch that right there, tip. So if you don't have a
Yeah.
factory crimp die, it's good to get a steel die to do it. All it does is make sure it chambers every time. That's the only advantage I can see in it. That's what I learned from High Boy a while back, or years ago, actually.
Well, yeah, it's the only way to actually add taper to a 9 mm piece of brass.
Mm-hmm.
But if you split the difference with carbide, because that's what carbides do, they take what a Sammy spec opening, a mouth opening's diameter
Mm-hmm.
is, and then they see what a fired piece of brass, or not fired piece, but a steel die does. They take those two numbers and they split the difference, and they put the carbide ring in there to that size, and because it just goes up so far and it only does one size.
Mm-hmm. Andy's got a good point there. He says use the Mighty Armory die and be done. Yeah, you're right. That's $100
Yeah,
to get the good quality one. That's $100 for one die. Of course, I still spent quite a bit for two die sets anyway. So
yeah.
it's still, it's just whatever you want. But I would like to have that die. I've been wanting it a while. I just hate spending $100 for it right now. So I
Andy,
spent,
do you have that die?
yeah, he says he has the Mighty Armory sizing die, size once and done. Yep.
Yeah, that's that fancy dancy one. That's steel, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Highly polished, hardened steel. Probably, I would say probably a higher quality. I hate to say that about a company. Probably good, just good quality polish and heat and treating on the Mighty Armory. Michael, so yeah, I use two dies the size right now. Which if I got the Mighty Armory, I wouldn't have to. But I really probably wouldn't have to anyway. I just do it because it just seems to it's work better, and it does work. What is that? See, carbide, the steel sizer, the two-step flare, 10 coated from Redding. It's got a two-step, kind of like the Lyman M die. The two-step die is actually I got it here. Here's my other version. I paid $40 just for that 10 coated die extra. So I got over $200 in the 9mm dies, man. So I don't want to buy a Mighty Armory anytime soon. And there's the, let me show you all. Well, where's the camera? I keep forgetting it's not on the tripod. There's the Redding standard that come with a 9mm steel die set. It's a two-step flare. I like that. But I paid $40 extra and got the titanium 10 coated. Probably 10. I don't know why I keep calling it titanium. But,
well, it is titanium nitride.
Yeah, but everybody usually says 10. So
yeah,
but yeah, 10 coated. So I got that, and it won't be long. I'll be able to blow my face off like everybody else on YouTube. I'm gonna eventually get to doing some of this, and I'm gonna go out to my daughter's place. She's got quite a bit of land out there where she lives, and I'm gonna do some shooting. And so I'll be able to. I'll actually start on the bench here and do some of it, and then stitch the video together, and then show me shooting it. But that's gonna take a while for me to do that because I got to drive like an hour there and an hour back, or 50 minutes, in other words. So it's gonna take a while. I have both. Critter says he has both 9mm 357 Mighty Armory steel dies. They work good for you, Critter. I'm sure they do. I've only heard one person complain about them, and I won't say who. Hey, Walter, do you use the? I know you use the two-step redding. Do you use the steel die 9mm, or you just size it with a carbide and be done on 9mm? I'm curious. What does the expert say? G23. I'm thinking about getting a probably flat dark earth M&P 2.0 5-inch barrel 40. Is what I want.
Yeah, that'll be a cool, sexy gun right there.
Mm-hmm. I have the 9 now, same thing, and it's pretty good. I like it. I also have a 1911 I like, and it's matter of fact, I need to chamber check these. I know they work in this. I use this here too. GG. There, I found the camera here. GGW 7 slot 9mm. Seems good to me, and all my rounds sit down good, so I have no issues there. And if you make the round long, it won't go in. Ask me how I know that. So let's see. Yes, they take fight out of brass sizing issues. Take fight out of. Take. Okay. I don't know what to make of the word fight. Let's see. Has anyone?
He's probably talking about springback.
Yeah, could be. Rare Bear's here. Hey, welcome. He says, has anyone used a Lee U carbide undersized sign dies? I don't see a need for them. I would say if you had a tight chamber gun and you only had one gun that was tight like that or more, you would need that U die. Outside of that, you're just undersizing it. If you can get a full length size, you're okay. But if you're gonna have a tight chamber or all you have is tight chamber guns, then I probably would buy that U die. Especially on 1911s
or CZs.
Yeah.
If I was gonna purchase a firearm or dies for reloading my firearm, I would definitely talk to somebody who reloads and you can trust and ask their opinion on whether or not you would need an undersized die for a CZ. I know they have pretty tight chambers, but basically the free bore or the throat is shorter, whatever term you want to use. Some people say free bore, some people say throat. And basically it's the distance from where the chamber that supports the walls of your brass stop and the distance from that to where the rifling starts is the throat, or sometimes called the free bore. And the on CZs, that's a little bit shorter. And when you do that, it usually, when you shorten the jump of the bullet, you usually get a little bit more accuracy there. So they're trying to take everything and squeeze the accuracy out of it. So you probably want to talk to somebody that's got a CZ. That would be that in some of the custom 1911s. They sometimes require a little bit more addressing the case than like a revolver does or something like that.
Walter, let's see. I agree with that. Actually, I'm going to do it without the steel. I'm doing it right now. And I'm going to see what it, measure it and see if there's any difference, which I doubt. I may not even use the steel die. Who knows? But I do it. And I do probably get a little different size on it. Let me...
yeah, I'm sure the steel die lets it get a little bit fatter towards the head of the case.
Yeah, shrink it. Let's see. With a bullet in it. Let's see. Hang on a minute. Let me size a couple different ways, guys. Hang on a minute. Go ahead and talk to them, Echo, if you want to.
All right. Yeah, what I'm curious on seeing is if the steel die is going to make it fatter towards the head of the case because there's a taper inside there. going from fat to skinny as the brass goes up in there. And the carbide is just going to be one size fits all from start to finish. So I'm wondering if it's going to be that much noticeable after springback happens a little bit and all the voodoo and reloading gets dialed in.
All I see, guys, is about a half a thou difference, if that.
Yeah, that's what
out.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring.
If anything, so really, I could do away with a steel die, just like Walter says. But hey, it's there, and I got it if I ever need it for some reason. And I may change my technique and take the steel out, or just skip it. So
yeah,
but it definitely shrinks it just a hair. That's all, and that's even if it's a half a thou.
Yeah, apparently, because if you size both of them, you take a measurement and then set them there on your desk and or your bench and let them sit there for a while. About an hour after that, they'll probably be identical.
I got one sitting there now. Let me get another one. I'm gonna size it 2 different ways and then let it sit. Just see what it does in a little while. Hang on a minute. Let me try this. Okay. See what this comes out to. Okay, that's 2. That's at 370. Let me try one more, and I'm gonna do the carbide. Just a carbide. See what it does. And see, I can feel it. It feels to me like the neck wasn't even touched almost when I do the carbide. It feels like it don't touch until you get it way up in there. Of course, that would be normal. So let me see. About the same. I'm gonna let them sit a while. There we go. 2 size with 2 dies, 1 carbide, 1 steel, 1 size with just carbide. Let's see what that does in a little while. We'll do a measurement. Remind me though, Echo. I may forget.
Yeah, no, I'll let you know, brother.
Okay. And I got this. Let's see what I loaded this earlier. Okay, that's long. Put that there. There's my dummy round. Make dummy rounds, you all. They work. They make setup easier. So nobody wants to come in here and talk.
The bulge, the whole, I know, let's see, who was asking that? He was asking if they, I just had it and it started moving. Could the, okay. Info bros. Yeah. If you have a bulge in your case, like on 40 calibers from shooting in like Glock, Gen 2, Gen 1, or Gen 3, with the slightly unsupported chamber, you get a little smiley face, and it's known as the Glock smiley face or the bulge. And the way you get rid of that is you can buy a Lee bulge buster and run it through the die. You run the entire round through the die, and it straightens out the bulge in the brass. And that's what I would recommend. I wouldn't recommend trying to use dies, regular full-length sizing dies, to get a bulge out, because you're probably not going to get it out, even using 2 different types.
Info says, could they be used? Yes, what Walter was saying. It might size the base a little more. So, Info Brothers, yeah, according to Walter, it would size the base a little bit more, the steel. Actually, I didn't think to measure that. I'll measure that next. We'll do that shortly. Let's see. You should always make dummy rounds. Yeah, reloader, I agree. Let's see. You should always make dummy rounds. Let me see. To test fit your pistol barrel and barrels before you ever load the first round. Yep, I agree with you. Great things. Get your links right, and it's easier to set up your gauges. It still won't get a bulge out though, AR. Yeah. It sizes at a base a little bit more though, you said earlier, Walter, probably, if anything. That's what you meant, I guess. Yeah, Lee and Redding both have, it's true. Let's see, it's a steel down. I'm trying to see. Critter's got something here. It's a steel die. When I have issues fitting into case guys, run them through the steel die. It works every time. Huh. Okay. What do you use, Critter? Do you use a carbide Lee or carbide Redding, and then you have problems and you have to run it to a steel die? I'm interested in your answer on that, or what die you use originally. So that's a good comment. Lee and Redding both out. Yeah, they do, GGW.
What does he say about?
Both, Lee and Redding have both bulge busters. One's called, I can't remember now, what is it? I can't think of the name of it now. Do you remember, Echo?
No, I didn't even, to be honest with you, AR, I didn't even know they made a bulge removing type of system die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, the Lee is like, everyone knows of it because it's inexpensive and they work. And what they basically are is they've got the insides of a Lee factory crimp die, carbide factory crimp die, and you just run the cases up through, all the way through, so it comes all the way down to the head of the case and through, and that's what pops the bulge out.
Yes, GGW, GRX. That sounds familiar. Yeah, I think that's Redding. I think you're right on that. Yeah, I was thinking L, but apparently it's a GRX. That sounds right to me. It says here, Uncle Jim says you can check your size brass in the barrel before you flare also. If you have bulges, it's a weak spot, and we'll check them in 40 brass. It's too cheap. Gun is not. Yep. Okay. So Critter actually uses apparently the steel to help him sometimes. Okay, so you don't even use a carbide die then, Critter. He just goes in straight to the. If you use a carbide earlier, you're talking about you will have an issue sometimes. I take it. So you just cut to the chase and go straight to the steel and do away with the carbide. Actually, I'll try that too. I'll do that test and I'll let you all know next week how it turns out on the next Thursday live stream. That'll be something we can talk about. I'll do measurements on what I got here shortly, and we'll do some other testing and measuring. God, I sound like a nerd here. On the measure. Me talking about feel here the last few weeks. Feel.
You're going to start measuring shell holders for me?
Actually, I did measure one on the Lee. I think it was 130 or 35.
Did you?
Yeah, pretty. At least what I could get the caliper on to it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's the problem. That's what I noticed right away, was that you can't keep the caliper on it correctly, and that's when you start getting variations.
I can measure that high step. Hang on. 131.5. Exactly. The standard is 1.25. Redding tends to hang around 1.25, 1.24, 1.26. They're usually only 1,000 or 2 off Redding. Their tolerances are tight on their shell holders. Now, this is 131.5. That's a Lee die. That's the highest deck. Funny, me and Echo's been talking about deck, and we've been talking about that for one reason, and we won't go into it, will we, Echo? You remember?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's Redding. Let's see. Here's a number 10 Redding, which is 223. Let's see what the deck is on that. 125 exactly, the industry standard exactly. See how Reading is there? They're on some things. Their tolerances are tight. Hornady, they're all over the map. Here, number 13, which is 9 millimeter. It's a little different. It's 126.5, could be 126, could be this thing could be off a half a thou. So we're talking about a thou and a half over there. Hang on, Walter's in the house here. Hey, what's up, Walter?
Hey guys, I thought I'd jump
Yeah.
in here for a little while. It's getting close to
Appreciate
dinner
it.
time out here in California, but it just happened that I'm setting up on my Reading also over here. That's all 9 millimeters, and so I thought, well, karma is saying, hey, if
Oh
AR's
yeah.
doing 9 millimeter, I'm doing it too. I don't know what that's all about, but what I was doing today. And I don't have the Reading die set up on here, the steel die. As I said, I have used it before, but what I got on here now for my sizer is just my plain old Lee carbide die, and with the brass that I'm using, and the bullets and so forth, that's working. I do use the Reading expander die, and that's mostly because I use so many cast bullets. That Reading die is the die to use if you're working with cast bullets, because it does such a better job than like the Lee expander that does that blunderbuss type of expander thing. I hate that. You got to get that case mouth expanded so far out with the Lee die so that you don't scrape your powder coating and lead off on your cast bullets, that it's just terrible. It really overworks the brass compared to the Reading die, which gives you a really nice two-step up there at the top. It's plenty wide enough. I never shave any brass with that with that die, and it adds to the cost of your die set. But I'm kind of like AR in that, I've got a total mix and match set going on there. My cedar is an RCBS cedar that I'm using for this particular MP bullet, just because it's got the right shape in the cedar plug. The one thing that I don't really like about the Reading dies is that, or their cedar dies, is they don't fit very many bullets. I've had an issue with that with them for a long time, but the rest of their stuff's good.
I was wondering about that.
And Echo is right on, Info Brothers. That even though that Reading steel die will size the case down just a little bit farther. If you look at a carbide die, the carbide ring is up inside the base of the die a little bit, where the steel die, can come almost all the way down. So it's going to size it down a little bit farther, but you're still only going to get it sized to about there. And so if you've got Glock brass, you've still got that much that can be bulged, and none of those sizers are going to take that out. But that said, I think that Glock has fixed most of those issues, particularly 9 millimeter. I haven't seen any Glock 9 millimeter brass in a long time. I still see a lot of 40 Smith & Wesson that's badly Glock. There's a gal at our gun club that's got a Generation 1 Glock, and that brass is so bad, even the bulge buster kit is worthless on it. It's bulged out so badly that it creases the cases down there near the base where that Glock smile shows up down at the base. It bulges it out, so far down here that if you try to fix it overworks the brass, I just throw it away. But
Sometimes, guys, these questions roll. Especially, I got earlier. I had like 20 people on here, so sometimes I may miss one. If you want to, if you get past, I can't. I'll scroll up. Sometimes it disappears. So re-ask your question. I appreciate it.
yeah, I can't see the side chat at all here. My phone is being charged, and usually what I do is I set my phone up and look at the side chat on that. But and what you're seeing me on here is my iPad. Apologize for that light. Get rid of that. There we go. Look at my kayaks instead of my garage door.
Rare Bear's here. Good to see you, Rare Bear.
Yeah.
He's got a question. How about those small flash holes in some 9mm S&B and DAG brass? Walter know more about that. I'm not familiar with that. Maybe Echo too.
There's, I see it a lot with 45 ACP brass where, and not just large and small primer, but some of the flash holes are small diameter and some of the flash holes are bigger diameter. And there's a fellow on YouTube. He's not putting any of his videos up. He's over on High Boys Forum, and he's just kind of starting out with 45 ACP, and he ran into that, had a whole bunch of brass. There was some was small primer, some was large primer, and both sizes. Some of the brass had large flash holes and some had small flash holes. So he went and did a bunch of testing with to see if it made any difference. And there are differences within the same powder range. So if you go load up a whole bunch of 45 ACP, all with the same powder charge, and then try all the different combinations, small primer, small flash hole, small primer, large flash hole, large primer, small flash hole, large primer, large flash hole, then he did notice, yeah, there was a little bit of difference in the velocity, in the muzzle velocity. But that difference doesn't hold across all powders. So you get one set of data for one kind of powder, and then you go change powders, and it might be completely reversed. So there's going to be differences. And is it, as Paul Harrell would say, is it enough of a difference to make a difference? Maybe, but I don't think so. But it's out there. I think the worst part of it is small primer versus large primer, because when you go start sorting range brass, or you got to sort it, because if you start running that stuff through your press, and you're running large primer 45 ACP, and now all of a sudden you get a small primer case in there and it crunches the primer and wrecks it, or you go the other way and your primer falls out as soon as it passes underneath the powder dispenser. So I hate it, but I don't know whose bright idea that was to do that. There used to
Hey,
be,
Georgia Trapping. Good to see you. Sorry.
I was going to say, there used to be large primer 38 special brass around. I had some for a while. I kind of wish I still did, because I got more large pistol primers than I have small pistol right now. But that stuff, they quit making that 50 years ago or more.
You could answer this question, Walter. I can't. Jason Stewart said the lead.
Pistol doesn't work. No, Jason, it'll work. It just doesn't work as well as the Redding expander system. And the lead die is fine, obviously, for jacketed bullets and plated bullets. We've been using it for that for a long time. But with a bullet like that, let me show you the bullet instead of the case. But with a powder coated cast bullet, we don't want to take any chances at all of that coating getting scraped off as we seat the bullet. So that means that the case mouth at the very rim has to be bigger diameter slightly, by at least 1,000th, than the diameter of that 356 or 3565. These are 3565 I size them out, to avoid scraping that off, because that's your lubrication. And if you scrape that off, you're going to get lead in the barrel. And so Lee's solution is that, funnel shape that it produces with their conical, insert in their expander die, and it works fine for a plated or a jacketed bullet. Just doesn't work as well. In order to get it expanded enough so you don't scrape lead, you got to flare that case mouth out too far to suit me. I mean, you can do it, but it's going to work the case mouth more.
Is that why you use your Redding, right?
That's exactly why I use the Redding, is because,
Mm-hmm.
and I use that. Actually, I use them. I'm trying to think if I got any calibers that I don't use it on. It's just a superior expander die. I think they're pricey.
Yeah.
You know, they're expensive, and so if you've already got a Lee set and you want to go add that expander, that's another $50 or so you're going to add to your. You know, might even be more than that by now. I forgot what those things are, but they're not cheap. But I shoot almost exclusively cast bullets through my semi-autos and a lot through my revolvers too. So, you know, I don't want that shaved lead syndrome going on. So, you know, if it's a standard traditionally lubed cast bullet, not powder coated, but you know, we fill our grease grooves, and you scrape up a little ring of lead as you seed it, it's not as big a deal, because you can take your fingernail and flick that little ring off, and you've still got all that lube in the lube groove of your bullet, and it's not going to hurt anything unless you fail to get rid of that little lead ring, because you don't want that, you know, pushed up into your forcing cone or into the barrel of your semi-auto or whatever. But it is a big deal with the powder coated one, so we've got to avoid that.
Gotcha. Michael's got a good question. Did Glock fix it, the bulge in the new Glock?
I think they have. Even my Gen 3 40 Smith & Wesson, which has been one of the worst culprits for Glock bulged brass. I have a Gen 3. In fact, I have two Gen 3 40 Smith & Wessons. And the factory barrels did not bulge the brass to the point where it needed anything additional. It didn't need to be bulge busted. But I put aftermarket barrels in my Glocks anyway, mostly because Glock, and I don't know if they still haven't bought a Glock in a while, but they always said, don't shoot cast bullets through our polygonal barrels. And so I said, okay. I bought aftermarket barrels every time I bought a Glock. So, and I think they shoot better anyway, but yeah, I think they have. I think they have gotten past most of that problem. You know, the reason that Glock produced those firearms that way was a good one, and it was so that they'd feed just about anything.
And they did.
Yeah.
The bottom line is Glock was designed, the whole thing with the Glock 17. Gaston Glock, when he designed that gun, the Austrian military had a contract for 17,000 handguns for their military. And Gaston was a plastic manufacturer that made a lot of different types of plastics, especially a lot that have to do with ultraviolet protective for like car interior vinyls and plastics. And basically that's why it was called the Glock 17, because they needed 17,000 of them, and that was the first one he did. And the grip frame that everybody hates, basically that was he hired. See, Gaston didn't know about guns. He knew about plastics. Wow. He went around to some of the top combat law enforcement trainers and military trainers in the business, and had them help him with the grip frame design. And the reason why it's got that grip frame with the hump in the back that causes most people to shoot high is, in a life or death situation, when you're pulling a firearm, the most important thing is to get your front eye drawn to that sight, the front sight, because most combat engagements are 7 yards or closer. And if you can put that front sight on target and you can start squeezing the trigger, it's going to start hitting that target. And they just did a lot of testing. And if you look back at our military firearms, the 1911, it used to have a humped magazine spring back of the, well, actually the magazine spring well was humped so that it would, yes, it had a hump in it so that when you grab the gun, it shoved the muzzle of the gun up. And the Berettas were, the M9s were the exact same way. And all of that is that way so that it will force the muzzle of the gun up to where your eye will automatically pick it up and catch it. And that's why it's done that way. Now, I don't really like the grip too well. They have improved upon it with the Gen 5 and the Gen 4. But it's just the way it is, you know.
Sorry, guys, I'm dumping powder here, so you may hear some noise. And I got a dam here, dammed up on me. Yeah, I don't like Glock personally. I thought about them years ago, back in the 90s, and I never got into them. I didn't like the way they felt. I like the M&P polymers.
Yeah.
And I definitely like the M&P 2.0. Wow. Big improvement on the trigger. So go ahead, Echo. If you want to talk. You're the Glock guy.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not. I'm not a Glock fan guy at all. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be having
you know about it.
Yeah, I know about them. I'm going to have a video coming out in a couple of days telling just exactly which Glock I hate the most, and you guys will get a laugh out of that one. But the bottom line is, I live in a highly salt environment. I live like a couple blocks from the Gulf of Mexico, and basically I deal with fresh water, salt water, and body sweat. It's 95 degrees 10 months out of the year here. So, and the humidity, up to including 100% relative humidity. So I am in a condition which basically I carry a little stainless steel aluminum Kimber 380, or I'll carry a Glock or a M&P. And the reason being is because of the protective coating on the barrels and on the frames, or on the slides, and on the grip frames are plastic. So in my particular situation, it works good for me, but everyone's different. Everyone's situation's different. So what works for me may not work for you at all. It may be absolutely the worst thing possible.
Uncle GM says, I hate the Glock 27 the most, and most in mine bulged.
Yeah, I have a Glock 21, and amongst my other 3 or 4 other ones that I have, and I hate that one. That one is fat handled, and it kind of hurts my hand. That square trigger guard kind of hurts my hands if I shoot more than about 50 rounds through it. The only reason I keep it around is that my chronograph, my magneto speed that I have to use at our indoor range, requires a rail. And so it'll fit on the Glock, and whereas it won't on some of my 1911s. So I use it as a test bed for 45 ACP rounds when I get a new mold or something like that. That's about the only reason I keep that thing around. My other Glocks, my Glock 34 and 35, I like those firearms. They fit my hand pretty well, and they shoot well.
I had a 35 back in 90, hold on, let me think.
Back when you
probably
were
yeah, 97. And I bought it brand new, and it was a decent gun. I had that, and I had a Glock 23, and I had a I also had Smith and Wesson's all stainless steel tactical model. It was like a $600-700 gun in 40 caliber, and I can't remember the model number on it. And I before that I had a 5906. I think everybody's owned, at least that's a little older, it's owned one of those.
Yeah, I have a Glock 23 also, and I don't shoot it too much since I have the 35. It's a better shooter.
Yeah.
I should sell a 23. It's a long way from being my favorite firearm, but I've had it for quite a while. It was that was actually the first 40 Smith and Wesson that I bought, and I kind of liked it at first, and then I don't know. I hate selling off my firearms for any reason. I've sold a couple off, and every time I've sold one, I regretted it. Chrome line barrel.
That's for Walter.
I don't know, Jason. I mean, I've never noted any advantage or disadvantage for shooting lead bullets out of either one of those. I mean, I shoot them both, and I can't say one shoots better than the other or not. My Kimbers are stainless, and so I don't know. I don't have a definitive answer for you on that one, Jason.
Interesting. Yeah.
What's he asking?
You want to know if there's any pros or cons to using a stainless barrel versus a chrome barrel with lead bullets. Coated lead bullets, and and I'm
Walter
saying I difference.
If Walter can't answer it, neither can I. I mean, if he can.
Well, where he's coming from is he's talking about rifles. Like if you have say an AR-15, you got 2 20-inch barrels. One of them's chrome lined, one of them is stainless steel. Usually, if they were manufactured to the same quality control and spec, the stainless steel usually will be a more accurate barrel. But the drawback to it is it's about a 2,000 round barrel and it's dead. Whereas a chromoly, chrome lined barrel, you're going to see close to 5,000 rounds before it's dead. Now that is also not doing magazine dumps. That's shooting semi-automatic, not full auto. So there's a couple of things that, are kind of like little side rules to that, because anybody can burn a barrel up no matter what it's made out of if they just abuse it and heat it up all the time for long periods of time. And you always see that guy at the range. He's got like 3 of his friends there. He just spent like $800-900 on an AR-15 and probably about the same on ammo nowadays.
He was wanting to compare it. That's why Walter answered it, from chrome versus stainless steel when it comes to lead or powder coat.
Yeah, but most
could not answer it, definitely. Walter did answer it, but definitely. But Reloader 762, I guess that's regarding what we covered on that question. Shouldn't matter if your bullet fits properly. Jim. And stainless steel wears faster, of course. Yes, it does. Chrome line's tougher. And you also got your, you got other hardeners. It's called different things. Nickel.
Nitrite.
Nitrite.
Yeah, nitrite is a really good one. Yeah. The thing is, with today's chrome line barrels are not the 1960s chrome line barrels. A chrome line barrel today can be just as accurate as a steel barrel, or a nitrite barrel. The chrome that they're using is not chrome that you see on a bumper. It's heavy duty industrial chrome. It is very tough.
Hey, what's up, Curtis?
Hey guys, what's up?
Hey brother, what's going on?
Oh, just got home from work a little bit ago. Shoveled the dinner down the throat. And so let's see. I'm not seeing anything here. What am I doing wrong?
I could see you. So
Yeah,
Tim and Mike with AR, but work with Highboy.
I've got a black screen with a bunch of swirly marks on it, but I'm not seeing any. But oh, there it goes.
yeah, just internet delay, probably buffering or something like that.
Yeah, my internet here sucks too.
Yeah, Critter, I seen you pop in here one time a few minutes ago. Yeah, I've got a Faxon barrel that's nitrided, wild chamber, if I remember right. No, it's not. It's NATO. The trying to think of the name of it now. What's that other barrel? Trying to think of the name.
FN.
No, the one that it's high dollar barrel. I've got what's the crap name? I don't even remember.
Traeger.
Criterion.
Yeah.
I got a chrome line hand lap Criterion wild chamber barrel. That thing cost me $289 plus tax.
Whoa.
Yeah, but I tell you, it was nice. And oil, you could see that, you could tell it had been lapped just the way it looked. But it's a nice barrel.
How's it going, Walter?
Going good. I'm just getting ready to pull out here and go cook up a little chow. California. Dinner time.
Yeah, I just got finished. I'm West Coast too, so.
Where are you at, Curtis?
I hate to admit it, but I'm in Portland.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The other California.
Yeah.
That's California North now.
Yeah. BLM headquarters.
Well, I'd be in big trouble if I lived out there at my age.
I'm telling you, man, land of the fruits and nuts. And the homeless camps and the garbage and this place has changed so much in 15 years. It's unbelievable.
G23 says it. What did he say here? Did I hear that correct? That G23 might be available? I don't know what
you probably heard me mention that I ought to sell my Glock 23, but.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I like the Criterion barrel. It just costs so much money. And I also got the what they call Core. It's a new series. It's more slim down near the end, 625 gas, and it's a little bit thicker back near the chamber. Some kind of new barrel. It's supposed to balance really good when you're shooting it, supposedly. And then the other one's a government model. I like both of them. The thing is, I got to build them, get them done here. So, how the hell did Newsom not get recalled?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
What?
Yeah, it was. The ballots still aren't all counted, but it was a 2-1 in favor of retaining Newsom. What a crock! That guy's such a loser, but it's California, land of the Democrats.
It's hard to when you got big cities turning out in mass. The rural areas and country cannot defeat them or beat them unless they turn out in huge numbers. Numbers.
Well, and it being a Democratic state, the Democratic National Committees put a lot of money into his campaign over the last couple of weeks, and the Republican Party has kind of written California off, and so they're not too excited about spending any money. That they're, I think they're convinced that it's just throwing it down the
loss
hole, and so the only money that was spent was a couple of the candidates that were actually, running against him. So
that's a shame.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Walter's favorite was running Bruce Jenner.
Oh yeah.
Or what's his name now?
Hey,
he was running.
He is conservative.
Listen, he was, and Caitlyn is pro-gun. So you guys laugh all you want, but I'll take a pro-gun tranny governor over any Democratic governor. And I'm from the South, so that's saying a lot. I'm like, hey, if you bringing on constitutional carry and then come on.
But yeah, and he never spent a penny on campaigning. And he didn't campaign at all. There was something like 40 some odd candidates on that ballot, including a few Democrats who would be running if had the recall passed, which it didn't. So
Wouldn't that be
the only thing
bad
we
if
can
they?
say is the vote was better than it was for the gubernatorial election. There were more Republican votes cast this time against Newsom than there were during his first election. So that was something that, I mean, it told us at least there's a higher percentage of Californians that are fed up with his antics. So, guys, I'm going to check out. I'll come back out and watch the live stream later on when you guys are done. But everybody have a good evening out there. Stay safe. Pay attention to what you're doing when you reload.
All right. See you, Walt.
Okay,
you, Walt.
Take it
Appreciate
easy,
you
Walter.
coming on, bro. Thanks. Walter's a wealth of knowledge too. Years of knowledge.
He's a good guy, just downright good guy.
I think he's been casting for 40 years. So, wow.
Yeah, he's too good for California, that's for sure.
Yeah, California's got its things, but I mean, if you've ever been there and seen some of the countryside, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's just horrible that it's in a political nightmare.
It's just like Oregon. It's beautiful here, You have everything. You have lakes and rivers and desert and forests, and I mean everything is in the West, But the California redwoods, beautiful. We used to ride our motorcycle through there. I actually have lived in California when I was very young. But
back when you could still run an ATV out in the forest without being arrested and charged with.
Now when I go to California, it's like I just kind of put my big toe over the state line and then pull it back real quick.
Here's the big problem we got in modern times is you got conservatives or moderate America out there, like I said, in the suburbs, most in the rural areas that just won't get out and vote, and they can't overwhelm the city vote. And if they don't get off their butt, off the couch and vote, we're in trouble. And that's what's been happening. It's been going on for decades. We haven't won a landslide since Reagan in the GOP.
Yeah, because there's a lot of good people in Oregon. It's just, the three major cities here, if you want to call any city in Portland or in Oregon major, but yeah, it's all the outlying areas, all the rural areas. It's all, it's all good people.
I just wish they'd vote like the city people.
Yeah,
conservatives are not. We're not as outspoken like liberals. We're not as activists like they are too. So.
Yeah.
Well, some of our beliefs are leaving people alone to do their own thing, enjoy their freedoms. But sometimes you got to get up and stand up and do what you need to do. The other problem is that the left has been learning this for literally the last 100 years or so. They basically know these rural areas don't draw big voting crowds. So these states that are mostly Democrat don't even put voting booths in the numbers that they do in the big cities. And they write it off like, oh, well, there's not that many people that live there. So these are rural communities where people are spread out. That you would think that would call for more voting locations, because you would think that you'd want to make it easier for the voter not to have to travel long distance to cast his or her vote. And that's why they do that. It's so that they make it difficult, so that if you have 2 or 3 children and your husband and you work, hell, by the time you get home, get the kids ready. Hey, good night, Jason. Have a good one, brother. And you get to the voting booth, you know, it start, you know, when you're talking, you may have to drive 50 miles to get to it. That starts becoming a problem to where you know, you get down to it, you may not have enough time in the day to do it.
Mm-hmm. So what you been doing anything lately, Curtis? Reloading or calibers?
Been too busy between work. I was actually on vacation week before last, but we were back in New Jersey, where my wife was from, but we were busy with wedding and dealing with her folks who are very elderly. So yeah, taking care of business, getting their finances and stuff. You know, they're getting up there where it's about time for them to get some care or go into a home or something. And so working out all this legal stuff, the trust and everything, and their real estate and their all that stuff. So we were dealing, you know, it wasn't much of a vacation, but busy.
Man,
so
years ago. Go ahead.
I was just going to say real quick, you didn't get a chance to catch a BLM interview or a concert or anything while you were in New Jersey?
BLM no. Kiss my ass. That's from you two censors. Antifa.
Yeah, it's just as you go all the way to the East Coast, and it's just as left as it is out here. So much of it, you know.
Mm-hmm. If we continue to keep teaching young kids that this country's a horrible country, we're in trouble. We're already in trouble now, but we're going to be in big trouble. There'll be a dictator here in another 5 to 10 years.
I still think that one of the biggest problems we've had is the public school systems have had their grasp on the kids so many hours a day for so many years that they've just slowly over the decades, they've just, you know, little by little, they've just brainwashed them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the colleges, they're basically terrible, full of a bunch of socialist professors.
Yep, indoctrination centers is all they are, as far as I'm concerned. You know, and then on top of it, what makes it bad is these kids, and I know firsthand. It's like with my stepdaughter, and they indoctrinate the crap out of them. Fortunately, we had her grounded enough that she could see through it and was wise to it and knew it was going to be coming. But I mean, when we dropped her off the first day orientation and stuff for college, and the first thing they did is yank all the kids and like segregated them, yanked all the kids and took them off like into I can't remember where it was, at an auditorium or something. Yeah, but basically they just they started right from day one. You know, they was like all of a sudden the parents are standing there alone and they filed them all in. I don't know what all. It's been a few years ago now. I'd have to ask her what all they had to say, but yeah, it was just kind of weird.
Yeah, it's funny. We went through desegregation, and it seems like now that the left is trying to segregate us all. Well, especially verbally all the time.
She's in the medical field. She's in the medical field, and as a matter of fact, she's still going through schooling now to get her doctorate in that. But when she was going through some of her early years in college, a couple times she had to take failing grades because they wanted them to write papers on things like because she was in the medical field, and you can imagine, you know, they don't believe in any theology or anything. You know, we just the Big Bang Theory or whatever, and she had to take some failing grades because she wouldn't do papers on why God's not real. And
oh wow.
Oh yeah, couple of different times, and she just said, "I'm not going to do this. Fail me." So,
years ago, I think it was around 2007 or 8. My granddaughter was in a car, and my daughter was in a car out here one day at my house here, at the time they lived here, and I found a paper in a car. Now, we're in a rural area. Typically, they're very conservative, and they are. Well, for some reason, I pulled that paper out, and it showed her kid praying to Allah on a piece of paper. Man, I flipped out. I told my daughter, I said, you need to hit to that school right now and say something. And, my daughter did not go. And I said, if you'd come home when I was younger, I partied a lot. I said, I didn't have custody of her. I said, I would have went to that school and chewed them out. I don't care what they say. When you got kids praying to Allah, I mean, something's wrong in this country.
Well, yeah, it's crazy. Well,
especially in rural areas.
Well, they want separation of church and state, but it's like it's okay if you follow something that they accept, but you can't. They want God out of the Pledge of Allegiance and everything else. It's just kind of weird. I just find it kind of odd that it's a double standard with a lot of the religious stuff.
Well, it's Marxism, which I call communism light. If you look at Marxist, they separate people from their religion as part of the first thing they do besides separate you from your firearms is separate you from your God. So that basically indoctrination and to one power, one mind, one body type of thing. If you've read any of the Marxist stuff before, it's pretty cut and dry the way they spell it out. And it's just basically what the Democratic Party has been really hitting hard over the last few years.
Hang on a second, guys.
Are you making ammunition in the background there?
No, I'm trying to get my other browser to work with YouTube. It stopped, just totally not working. It's not streaming. That's weird. There it is. Okay. Yeah, I don't always want to talk politics, but occasionally, because we are in the gun community, we have to. So if it offends anybody, I guess you're not pro-gun or conservative.
Yeah,
if you're liberal, get out of here.
Religious beliefs are that's their belief. I'm just making a statement on the double standard.
Yeah, I know. You're fine. You're good, Curtis.
Yeah. So if
I ever Islam is not compatible.
If I ever go too far, just push me back and let me know, and I'll shut up.
You're fine. You're fine, brother. You're fine. I'll just say this: Islam is not compatible with democracy or freedom. It's not compatible with the Constitution.
No, it's not.
So, actually, it's not. So, no, I don't mind you saying some things like that. You're fine. I got to have Houston move to a small city and have a great sheriff. Yeah, Michael Hurtnett. Yeah, I'm actually in a rural, kind of like a bedroom community town, and I'd like to move out of here and go further out where I have a gun range.
You ever notice how much Echo looks like a Lee reloading press?
He does. He's a talking press.
I am.
He needs to draw a face and on that thing right there.
Dude, next thing you're going to be getting is Wilson jokes in the side chat. I'm like, no, what is the Wilson joke?
You're talking about Wilson Phillips?
No, Wilson from what was his Tom Hanks, the Castaway, the little beach ball he talked to, or what, the volleyball or whatever the heck it was.
Yeah, the soccer ball.
Yeah,
soccer ball or volleyball. Yeah, I don't remember. I think you're right. Maybe it was a volleyball.
I haven't even watched his last movie. He made one in Australia. I think he got COVID there. Some Western they made there. I haven't watched it yet. Hanks is in. But yeah. So what you gonna be doing this week, Echo? You gonna do any reloading this weekend?
I'm waiting on brass, and what I'll probably do is I want to slug my barrel on my AK. I've been shooting Wolf out of it, so I know Wolf is 311, and So I know it's already had a steady diet of 311 down it. So if it was a 308 or 309 bore, it's probably opened up a little bit. So I'm gonna slug it and see what it tells me.
Yeah,
If it says 311, then I'm good. I'll order 100 bullets. I've got 100 pieces of Starline brass coming. And more or less, I'm going to do a video showing you how to do a Sarah safe slug of the actual bore, and hopefully I'll get that done this week. And I'm also going to do that review on the Glock that I hate.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what that barrel comes out to.
Yeah, I'm kind of.
For just a second, I got a question.
Yeah.
So, I've got a couple of these Reading instant indicators, and I've worked with them a little bit.
Right.
What the hell is this thing? I've found no use. It's threaded on the inside.
Oh God, I didn't know what that was. That is, I think the Take With You portable, if I'm not mistaken. I don't look at it because I don't use it. It's something to, I think, to make the gauge portable.
Their directions are like completely vague. There's no mention of this thing in there anywhere that I can see. And I'm thinking, yeah.
Let me research it and I'll get back with you on it. I'll look into it because I have read about it. I just forgot. I just don't have a need for it.
Yeah, I just crossed my mind while I was looked over there, saw this mess over mine in here.
I think what you do, you can take the instant.
Yeah,
you can take the instant indicator. Okay, you can take the instant indicator and use the gauge off the press with that. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not sure what procedure in there. It'd either be the bullet, the brass, or the it may do all three. I don't know. I have to look it up.
Yeah,
that's a good question.
Yeah, because I was feeling really stupid, but it's like because I've done the overall length of the brass. I've done all this other stuff. The bullet, I've compared bullets. I've done all this. That was like this just made no sense to me. I mean, other than it's like there's nowhere on the press for it to go. But you can thread it. You can thread a die into it. Like you can thread the rest of the indicator into it.
Yeah, that's what you do. You can actually screw that on it with whatever you're measuring, and it will measure it without having to be on the press. That's what it is. I'm positive on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a long time since I read that, though.
Yeah, I'd have to really give it some thought to figure out how you would use it.
You could even take it with you. If you want to zero it out, you could even take it with you to the range. I don't know what you would want to do it for, but I've just never found a need for it. So.
Well,
yeah, I've never used it either. I think
a thread protector, Uncle Jim. It's actually, I think it makes it actually a portable measuring thing. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just don't know how you would apply it, but all right. Well, I'm in good company then.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I got the instant indicator for just checking headspace, to be honest with you. The other things that offer it, like the overall length gauge for the bullets, for the cartridge overall length gauge, that's okay. But I don't know. It does three things. Headspace. I think you can measure the bullet, and I think it does also overall length.
Bullet ogive to base.
Yeah.
Right.
Measures, and then it measures brass height, brass length.
Okay.
Yeah, let me see.
From where the shoulder data line.
You can measure it from both. You can measure the overall length of the brass, or you can measure the shoulder bump.
Yeah, you can the shoulder bump of the bullet. Yes, on the ogive to base of the brass. Yeah, the head to where it does. So it does. I'm not even seeing that thing even listed in here, but I know
Yeah.
it's here.
Yeah, that's
It's
what
not
I'm
even-
saying either, because I couldn't even see the like a parts diagram where that was part of the kit. I was like, would I get extra parts with this thing?
But I guarantee you, it actually makes it portable. I can guarantee you that almost.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm wrong on that.
Well, I wondered that too. I
Mhm.
just didn't know how. Well, I've never even tried to play with it, honestly, but
I haven't
didn't
either.
know how it would work. Even if that's the case, I don't know how it works.
Mhm. It says bullet uniformity based ogive, bullet seeing depth, then your setup in your headspace. It does, good things. I like it because it tells me it kind of, especially if you're a new reloader, it makes you realize the semi-min better. You get an idea of how much you're bumping instead of just turn getting your die like a lot of guys do, and they'll start reloading and they'll crank down their half a turn or a quarter, whatever they do, and then bam, they're sometimes 7 thousandths with rating dies. I think you bump back 7,000 average. Below semi-min 0. So it's a great tool to start out on. The thing is, it's expensive though. It was fairly, I think, $169 when I got into it. Now I think it's like 189, maybe higher.
Yeah, I think it was 169. 100. Yeah. How long ago did you get yours?
Oh, about 5 years ago, maybe, or longer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Long time.
I've only had mine for a couple of years, and I think I paid 169 a piece or some. My 223 one might have been a little cheaper.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a 223 and 308.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Mm-hmm. But I was telling the other day in a live stream, I also use it, like if I'm running the 650, I use it as to inspect my headspace on my 650 when I'm running. I actually use it too to even set headspace on my 650.
Yeah.
It's absolutely great for that. And ordinarily, you just turn it and maybe, now if you're doing shoulder bump on the 650, on 223, you wouldn't necessarily need it at all. But yeah, you can definitely check headspace, use it as a quality control tool.
Yeah.
And but it taught me real quick what headspace was. And able to gauge. I actually checked it with a Climor gauge, no and go gauge, no go and go gauge, and it came out basically almost the same as the insert in here. So it is very accurate. Let me get you off the blow up here, Curtis.
I bought the 223 and I bought it with the dial, and then I went to Harbor Freight and actually bought a second dial.
Mm-hmm.
I've played around with it. That Harbor Freight dial seems to be it. I can switch them right out, and they'll hold. It holds an accurate measurement. So
yeah, you don't have to buy that. I actually bought both of them with the dial, even though I paid more for it.
Yeah,
but you can also even not buy the dial, and you can take this right here off and use that.
Yeah, there you go.
So you could actually buy both kits and just borrow off that. But I didn't want to swap around a lot back in the time.
Yeah.
Now I wish I had. So
yeah.
But I went down the rabbit hole, unfortunately, like everybody else does.
Yeah. You really only need one anyway, if you don't mind just you're reloading one caliber at a time, just switch it out.
Do you use the competition shell holders, Curtis?
I do. And I have those for 308 and for 223 as well.
Do you like them?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I don't have the experience that you guys do. I'm just kind of starting to get a little bit into deeper water with all this. I primarily have been accumulating this. So when I retire in a few years, I'll kind of already have accumulated some knowledge and the gear, and then I can just kind of take off, hit the ground running when I have more time to do it.
Rare Bear says I'm correct. It is a range adapter. I thought it was.
Okay.
I just didn't use that word. Yeah. Portable gauge take with you to the range. Yeah. Appreciate it, Rare Bear.
Now just show us how to use it.
It would be basically that there would be basically your shell holder, except you would screw it on. That would be how it would be used. You put your cartridge in there, screw that down, and that would be the same as raising your RAM.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it would tighten up the brass in there or bullet,
I
whatever you
honestly
want to
don't
do.
see myself using that at this, not for a while anyway.
Who's going to bed here? Oh, night, Andy.
I'm gonna get like nothing but like 100 of those, and I'm gonna put them all around my waist, all those gauges. And I'm gonna be going around going, I gotta test everybody's headspace in here. Start handing me cartridges.
Oh, Critter's cooking a 3-pound pork shoulder and 3 jars of kraut.
Ooh,
Sauerkraut. Sounds
yeah.
like.
Oh, I wasn't hoping he
Oh,
wasn't
Critter.
cooking a German guy.
Critter wants a link, Michael. Hang on. Oh, I thought okay. Yeah, it probably disappeared. Here you go, Critter, if you want to hop in here for a little bit, man. There you go. I know he come in earlier in the backside and it just disappeared. I guess it was his PC or something.
Internet, PC, something.
Shoot, this software, everything's always going crazy. Usually I have sound issues with our stream constantly. Tonight was okay. Didn't have no issue with it. Night, Uncle Milty. Appreciate you telling me, Michael, on that. My neck cracked today, Michael, and my wife said, failure to feed. I thought of you. Oh. Actually, we're probably going to wind this down here shortly, too. How long you been wanting in here, Critter? I swear I thought I had a link. There he is.
Finally!
Hey, man.
I tried to get
What are you doing?
Right into the.
Actually, we're probably going to wind this down here shortly, too.
Hold on, we kill one.
Here, Echo.
There we go.
Echo, Echo.
Where'd it go?
Okay.
Oh, there you are. I had to kill the YouTube one. Finally, I was trying to use the link from the forum. It wouldn't let me. For some reason, it would not recognize my camera or my mic. It drove me nuts.
Huh. That's weird.
But what I'm going to show y'all is that about the steel dies and the what you call it, the steel dies, the carbide dies, and the nitride dies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. But the nitride dies work; they do good. But specifically, I had issues with a few once fired rounds. Well, sometimes the bounce back, or what do you call it, the spring back, springs back on me, and I can't fit them through the case gauge. Well, I put them through the steel die, they magically go through the steel case or the case gauge perfectly.
Wow. And that's Mighty Armor you're using, steel die?
Yeah.
Cool.
See, maybe I can show you all an example. Hold on a second. Be right back.
Okay. All right, man.
So which one of those do you use for? Is there an order? Which one you use first if you use both of them?
I use the carbide first and then the steel second. And apparently it does a little bit like Walter said, it does go down a little further. So,
well, I have the reading set up because I shoot 10 millimeter and 40.
Mm-hmm.
And so with the Glocks, I definitely get the bulge in the brass. So I bought that reading bulge buster. I forget what they call it now.
GRX, I think somebody said tonight in the stream. That's another reason I didn't get the Glock.
Yeah, GRX sizing die. Yeah,
cool.
But it works. But I just didn't remember. I remember Highboy talking about using one and then the other, but it's been a while since I played with this. I couldn't remember which one, which die he used first. But
I'm gonna work on 9mm this week, probably. Do a little.
any of you guys finding bulge in your 9mm Glock brass?
I've got
No.
range brass, but I ain't running into any bulging so far.
Yeah. They say it's mostly like the 40 and the 10mm.
I suspect that's probably because that 40's so hot compared to 9, I would think. But then again, 9 plus P would be hot in a Glock. Okay, hang on. You plug up, Critter.
See how well that fits in? It's below the actual case gauge. That's after running through the steel die.
Wow.
Sometimes, let me do this one. Sometimes, even with the carbide or nitride dies, especially on these once-fired dies, you'll get it something like maybe that, or even so far as that.
Wow. But
I run it through the steel die, and it's flat. It's flat and flatter than flat, even with the primer in it.
Can I ask you what carbide die you run it through? What
basically, on the 9mm, it was Hornady. 357s was Lee. And that's all I got. Hornady and Lee's. I went with Lee's because I couldn't find them in Hornady.
And the steel die always helps both calibers? Wow.
Yeah. It works on the 233s and the 300s also. I've never had a cause to use it on a 4570 yet. And I just got into 45 cal ACP.
Right.
And I haven't shot my 45 Colt yet.
And you're sizing it with Steel Mighty Armory, right?
Right.
I'm gonna get one of them in time. Yep. I'd like to have one of their dies.
And it doesn't happen often, but just for chits and grins, when I do the prepping, I'll do the universal deep capping die. I'll run it through, clean it off, everything. When I finish getting it all cleaned up, pretty, I'll take it and run it through the sizing die, just Mighty Armory sizing dies, just to get them prepped. When I'm ready, I'll dump them in the hoppers and just go in it. Usually I get about 300, maybe 400 an hour.
Wow.
That's not to take a break, do another 200 to 300, go for another until I'm done. At one point in time, I did 2,000 of them.
Wow. What press you doing them on?
I'm sorry?
What press you using for that? The Hornady?
Hornady.
Cool. Yeah, I appreciate you coming on, bud. Absolutely.
I was trying to do this, but my computer wasn't working. I was about ready to put my foot through it. What I had left.
I've had nothing but software problems since Windows 10 updates, actually updates on it. But I've had, even Windows 10, I've had a lot of issues here and there. I don't have a clean install, format and clean install. I have updates constantly. And sometimes PCs can get kind of glitchy if they do a lot of updates, especially if you go like I went from Windows 7 to Windows 10 with a free, it's kept updating for several years here. And typically that sometimes can.
I've got all the software backups that I need. I'll rip it back down to the bare hard drive and still reload it all.
Wow. Gotcha. Yeah, I need to build a computer. Echo's got one that's modern. Mine was built back in 2012. I do have a 3 gig i7 4 core.
I got 4 terabyte hard drives. They're standalones, hooked up to a 320 gigabyte internal hard drive with another 200 gigabyte hard drive. Plus a flash drive hooked up into it. I've got more crap that I really need. I got a 2 gigabyte hooked up to my satellite. I recorded all the movies and then cut down the subscription down to $70, $72. So now I'm watching movies off the hard drive.
I used to do that with Dish Network. I had a
Yeah.
external hard.
My music.
I used to record a lot of concerts, and I keep them. So I like the old rock concerts with David Gilmour and Clapton or any of them. Cream. I got Cream on Blu-ray disc. Yeah, on my PC, I got a 2 terabyte main drive. The main drive where the operating system is active partition. I got a 1 terabyte internal storage, and then I got another external 1 terabyte drive here in the floor, external. And I can't even fill them up. But, I still haven't, even with high def video yet so far. So, but I do need to build another computer in time, and especially the way they're building them now. I mean, oh god, we're coming out. I think with PCI Express 4, which is basically a bus system. It's going to be really fast. It's going to be more advanced than even yours, Echo. That PCI Express 4 system. You heard of it?
I think he walked out on us for a minute.
Yeah, probably talking to the wife. Let's see, somebody shoots.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. What's up?
Yeah, you were talking about PCI Express 4.
Yeah, that's a newer bus system that's coming.
Yeah,
it's only the new what is it? 9th gen or 11th gen processor is capable of doing that. I think it's 11th gen that just came out. That's the only one that will support it. See, if you can put it in another processor, it wouldn't work. So, well, actually, it wouldn't even be on another motherboard. Actually, it'd only be on the new motherboards. So,
yeah.
I don't know what crap I'm talking about, but I do now. So I forgot.
Yeah, the gain on the PCI Express 4, or it's when I'm running. Trying to remember exactly what I'm running.
Yours is PCI Express 3, I imagine, or 3. Yeah, have to be. Mine's 3, I think. So mine's, even though it's 12, old, it's still a.
I think mine is 4. Mine's 4.
Yeah,
because I'm running a Tomahawk B550 motherboard, and I'm running an M.2 1 terabyte hard drive.
Right.
And then I'm running the weakest thing I'm running a 3900X 12 core 24 hyper thread processor with 64 gigs of 3200 RAM. What is it? G Skill.
That's what I use.
Yeah, and it does what it's supposed to do.
Hey, Kyle dropped by and said, "Hey,
Hey
what's
Kyle,
up, Kyle?
What's going on, dude?
Sorry, I'm late. Good to see you, Kyle."
How many we have on?
10 now. We had, I think, 20, then 15, and 18, 16, 18. So it's always starts slowing down after about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I noticed that. Yeah.
Then you invite people like me on here, and there's.
Hey, me too, man. I'm new to this stuff too. So yeah, in time, I want to build me a new PC, and I'm going to do a minimum of a 32 to 64 gig of RAM. And, get a really fast one. I want a SSD. I want that M.2 NVMe. NVMe is that N with a V, and me is the new drive. Everybody says that M.2, and that's actually the old standard in that system, but it's actually NVMe. It's more advanced. And there's another one come out by Intel. That's faster. I don't remember the name of it though now. I haven't been researching it much lately. I try to keep
I thought it was the 7. I got an AMD Ryzen 3 3200, and I'm a little disappointed in it. I'm not sure the Firefox is not keeping up or something. It's a little jiggy.
Do you have a particular brand PC, Critter, or you have a? A custom made
Yeah,
PC.
this one is. This one's a Hewlett Packard, I think.
Okay, HP.
Shit.
Mine's a hand built, homemade built, I guess you could say. I can put anything in there, any power supply. I'm gonna buy a case and all though. I'm gonna eventually use this for something else, maybe. I might even put a server on this, beep it up some, and use a server here. It's just a, it's just a
AMD Ryzen 3 3200G with Radeon Vega graphics.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know what kind. You know what? Maybe I got to look at the box.
Echo's got a pretty good graphics card. Mine's an old 1 gigabyte from years ago, but it still does okay. It does everything you need it to do. Can I do 4K? Nope, but I can still do 1080p. I think it's definitely 1 gig. It's an old AMD. I can't remember the number though. It's not 51. I used to have the box here. But, Kyle's taking meds. Hope you do good, Kyle. Get well, bud.
For 2 years, the VA, or the actual Social Security Administration, kept telling me, you can stand and work. Like, yeah, right, for like 3 minutes at a time at the time. Of course, I've gotten stronger and better over after years. But it took them 2 years to finally give me some money. My son went out and fixed it. He used to work at Best Buy at the time. He came up and built me a laptop or desktop. Got $5 or $6. It worked for about a good 5 years to this last year. Working. I think it was more of a software issue than anything else.
What were you saying? They're trying to put you back to work?
Yeah, I was missing an arm and a leg, and they said, well, you can go back to work. I'm like, where? Who's going to hire a 1 arm and 1 leg man?
Good
What the hell am I
Lord.
going to do? Polish knobs? I don't think so.
Jeez. Huh. Yeah, I've seen quite a few, they had 1 leg missing, but typically you got to have 2 hands to do most anything out there.
Well, I hooked up with a buddy of mine. He rigged up and installed a left-footed gas pedal in my truck. So I kept my truck, had it rebuilt, because that was the whole issue before I got this accident, was that the truck, I didn't use the truck because it had water in the oil. I think it was a bad water pump that just started throwing water down the oil. But I had to get that replaced. And he fixed get left-footed gas pedal, so I didn't have to buy a new truck.
You've been retired for how many years? You've been retired, Critter? Now,
Since I turned 50, and I just turned 57, so almost 7 years.
Okay.
Well, I had the accident on March 15th, 2015. I spent like 45 days in intensive care in the hospital. And,
oh, wow.
Another year, convalescing home. Getting pissed off. It turns out they were feeding me appetite increasing pills because I had lost so much weight. I'd gone from 180 to 135. Well, they pissed me off. It screwed me up and made me hungry. Then they ate these little bites like this, and I got mean and stuff like, give me food. Chase them down with a wheelchair. Give me food.
I had a roommate years ago. He's in the hospital for oxygen problems, and he come home and they gave him prednisone, and he kept taking prednisone every day for a long time. And he started eating like 8 boiled eggs in the morning, a dozen. And I says, all of a sudden he tells me, he says, oh, I've gained some weight, man. I think I got cancer. I said, no, you got prednisone problem, like Elvis Presley. I said, you're gaining weight, man.
Yeah, it's like
eating.
You sit around on your wheelchair for like 16 hours a day. You get hungry, and there's no way to figure out how to kill it. That hunger. I've tried apples. I've tried carrots.
Right. Yeah, my father was in a wheelchair, Critter, from the time he was 32 to 72. So he lost both legs. But, Anyways, are you shooting any critter at all on your?
Well, I take the revolvers,
Mhm.
throw a 38 black powdered cap, put a round in it, pop the tree behind the house, just to see if it works.
You have your own land though, so you can.
Well, I'm living on my parents' land, but yeah,
Okay.
well, I'm living on 12.5 acres. Let's put it that way.
Oh wow.
Yeah, nice.
My daughter's.
I'm out away from city limits, so.
Oh, cool.
I
My
mean,
daughter's on 11 acres. I'm gonna go out there in a few weeks and shoot some, do some videos, get a little. That's pretty good chunk. I used to live on 20 acres. So that's a pretty good chunk, 10, 11, 12 acres. Really good. Well, I'm gonna wrap this up here shortly, guys. I appreciate you coming on, Critter.
figure out what the hell's going on with this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting frustrated. Every time I tried to log in, it would say, I'm not able to access this microphone and camera. Bullshit.
Yeah, I seen you drop in one time here a little while back. Popped in for a second, then popped out.
Well, I dropped in, but it showed no mute or stop cam. Or it showed no cam or mic. I'm like, that's wrong.
Right.
I tried to go back or just make access. Went back to the settings and it provided access. And I started deleted the whole window, started it back up, and we did the whole thing. I went back, cleared out the cache, and tried again, and it kept doing it to me. It drove me nuts.
Wow. I've had issues even starting streams the past month or so. I had to reboot, do Windows updates. Sound wouldn't work. I had to reboot again. I mean, that's right there. I couldn't even start a stream. It's so bad. Windows, it seems like over the years, Windows has got worse in a lot of areas. But they're coming out with Windows 11 next. Go figure.
Yeah.
I remember a while back they said Windows 10 was just going to keep being updated and they wouldn't be no more operating systems. I think they claimed that at one time, but they decided they wanted money, so they're going to come out with 11. So what's going on this week, Curtis, with you? We're going to sign out of here shortly.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I'd really like to get out and do some shooting, but now that it looks like I have a little time, now our weather's supposed to turn off to be crap.
I'm waiting till the fall when it's not at 90 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah. We get a lot of rain here.
Put that prosthetic leg on, you're sweating your ass off.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna go deer hunting when it gets cold. I'm gonna take my great grandson.
Well,
yeah.
I was just speaking to a cousin of mine. We went to high school together and whatnot, pretty much grew up together and hadn't seen him for probably 2 years. Anyway, he mentioned that we go do some shooting on his property, and I knew he had some property. I didn't realize he had so much, but he said he has his own logging outfit, and
Wow.
I guess he's going to clear a patch of timber off of it, and said by the time he's done, we should be able to shoot out to like 1,000 yards. So
wow.
I don't know how many acres he has, but he apparently has a little bit.
Yeah, it sounds like it. That's cool.
Yeah. So I'm going to go check that out one of these days for sure.
The only range I know here in Georgia, at least I know, is I think membership in, I'm trying to think what county it is. I can't remember now. It's got a 400-yard range, and it's like it used to be 120. Elbert County Gun Club in Georgia. I called them one day, and I says, "Have you got steel?" They said, "Yeah, only at 400 yards." I said, "Okay." I said, "I wish you had steel everywhere." I like those targets. They're cool. So what's going on, Echo? What do you want to wrap it up here, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah, brother, whatever you want to do. I'm just
Yeah.
picking something up that I left on the ground.
All right, man. We're going to wrap this up. I appreciate you coming on, Critter. I'll send you a link from now on every time. If you want to come on, always feel welcome, bud. You know, always come on.
I didn't have your new Yahoo YouTube website blog. I don't understand. I swear I substituted it or subscribed, but I went back and I looked and I'm like, hey, wait a minute. It said big red subscribe. I'm like, I don't understand this. They might have kicked it off or something.
My original channel went down. I had to do another one. So I lost my grandfathered in URL. I could actually go, youtube.com/American Reloader. You go right to my channel. But I do want to say one thing before I get off. Every day I'm having to resub Kyle sometimes, CW sometimes, GGW, most all of you all here, I'm having to resub every 2 or 3 days. Wow. They're knocking out like 20 people every day on me, and I'm just resubbing constantly. So
I told Echo yesterday, it was just yesterday or the day before we were chatting, and and I was telling there's been times where you've had a stream, I didn't even get a notification either.
Yeah, I've heard of that problem with you too. Yeah. I've actually subbed CW and a few others every single day for 3 days in a row.
Wow.
I mean, it's bam, bam every day. I'm going, what the crap? And I don't know what's going on with it. They got a problem. They need to correct it. I hope they're listening to me. Some of you young powder puffs, do something. So, anyway, appreciate you coming on, Critters. Great having you, bro.
So far, we've gotten over 70 different little trolls that come jumping on the Highboy website.
Oh, wow.
I've got roughly 120 different IP blocks I've been blocking. So just for anybody, if you get blocked, let me know.
Okay.
I don't mean to, but I might have got a little carried away with some of the numbers.
Is it overworked? Are you keeping up okay?
Number, another 3-digit number, two 2-digit numbers sometimes. Well, I've been backing it up all the way to that first 3-digit number. I'm getting rid of everything below that. That's what happened last time.
What do you see? You seeing a person coming out with a name and then they have different IP addresses, or the IP address matches? How do you recognize it?
Let me actually pull something up. Let me explain it a little bit better.
So if you ever need any help, you'd have to tell me how to do this. I've never did that on that forum. So hang on, guys. Let me blow him up.
Okay. It's going to be tricky because I can't see how I'm pointing it until I get you there.
Okay.
Maybe not. There we go. Okay. You see this Rita?
Let's see.
Rita USO26?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to hold. I got to put her down and double click her.
Wow.
Okay. You see that 168.176.55.16?
Yes.
Okay. What I've been doing is I've been deleting the 6155 and adding a star after that period. Okay.
Right.
That last fiasco that I had on the Highboy website, I started it at 168, then hit the star. Well, that kind of screwed people up, like Uncle Bill T and a few people from California. So I'm like, oops. But that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Have I lost everybody?
I kind of understand. How do you know the IP address? What does the IP address tell you? I mean, I know what it tells somewhat. I had forgotten because I hadn't been to school in years on that crap. It's been a long time.
The IP address comes around with everybody. Even I've got an IP address.
Yeah.
Mine, see, what was it?
I got one. Mine's 168.192.
Yeah,
the beginning. Like
But everybody connects through the internet through IP.
Right.
Through the so if you block off a block of them, like I did,
right,
nobody in that area within that number is going to log on anywhere.
Oh, I got you. I got you. I know what you're doing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I understand now.
Weird looking at it, watching you. 50 seconds later, I'm going.
I got you. If you ever need any help, let me know. You have to, kind of guide me through it probably. But on that part, I do a lot of other stuff. I move, I spell correct some, I do this, that, and the other. If I see something in the wrong form, I'll move it typically. But anyway, I appreciate you coming on, Critters. Good having you. You're always welcome here. You too, Curtis. Appreciate you coming.
All right.
on.
Yeah. Whenever I get a chance, when I'm not either working or whatever, but that's why you don't see me a lot of times. I just, when you guys are on here, a lot of times I'm still at work or on my way home or whatever. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, I try to stream at 8 p.m. to give a little time out west. Where are you at? What state?
I'm in Oregon.
Okay, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're what, 3 hours behind me here in Georgia?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, appreciate you all coming on.
All right. Thanks.
Appreciate you all in the side chat. Have a good evening. We'll see you, I guess, Friday night for Echo's stream at what time, Echo? You gonna do?
We're gonna go at 6.
6 p.m. Georgia Eastern Standard Time for Echo. Friday, Georgia Shooting Connection at 8 p.m. And I might do one on the weekend, but I doubt it. Thursday's enough for me. So I enjoy that way. I don't run out of things to talk about, even though, believe it or not, I talk a lot. Sometimes too much. I got a roommate. He says I talk and never stop. Yeah. Anyway, you all have a good one. See you, Kyle.
All right.
Sent you a little video.
We'll see you, Critter.
Take care of everybody in the side chat. Have a good night.
Yeah. Good night, all.
All right.